This isn't the Austin Theory Show. This is the People Show. And you know what that means? Oh, Austin Theory, it means you are an asshole. You are an asshole. You are an asshole. Oh, the Fox censorship crew, they were having a collective series of strokes trying to keep up with all that bleeping. Holy, you are. Oh, what a goddamn moment that was. They did it. They actually got Rock the Dwayne Johnson to return. Let's talk about it. I'm John Renton with my review of WWE Smackdown from Denver, Colorado. Yeah, I know I said last week I probably was done reviewing it weekly, but after that opening segment, I had to talk about that. I had to. I still stand steadfast that I may not review SmackDown weekly, and other shows may not be reviewed weekly, but that was a big goddamn moment. It's also a one-time thing. Now, I will say this much. It was really cool that The Rock showed up. I felt like a kid again, unlike Roman Polanski, who feels like kids again. That's a bad comparison. Let's get back to this. Or Woody Allen, who feels like his own kids again. Goddamn creepy bastard. Should have been freaking strong. Now, let's just get back to the show. Let's get back positive. Sheik, always positive. Rest in peace, Iron Sheik. So, yeah, Rock the Dwayne Johnson is back. Now, the actors and writers strike. It's affecting everybody, and Cena's like, hey, I got openings. Rock's like, okay, I was just down the road. He was on the college football thing, the Pat McAfee show. And speaking of Pat McAfee, you know, the guy that's let Aaron Rodgers spout all his bullshit on there. I'm just going to say right now that I hope Aaron Rodgers' Achilles never fully recovers because the goddamn crackpot deserves to never even walk again. And maybe he can try those alternative methods and everything to heal up. And he can get gangrene. It could be as green as the Jets' helmets. What am I on about? Who goddamn knows? Aaron Rodgers is a fucking idiot. He fumbled Olivia Munn. How bad do you have to be as a person to fumble Olivia goddamn Munn? Anyway, here's Theory. Look, I will not live long enough. None of us will live long enough for Theory to get good and Theory to be interesting. He's fine in the ring. He's not interesting. People want to talk about how Roman was forced down people's throats. Theory is worse. You could at least see it with Roman. You could at least see it with others. They are just trying everything with Theory. They had him interact with Cena. They had him interact with Austin. They've had him interact with people over the last couple years. And for what? For who? Triple H, will not admit that this was a bad signing. It was. I don't care how good he is in the ring. He will never be an interesting WWE talent. He will never be worth the investment they've given him. And if there are people that like him, that's totally fine. But I just don't get it. He's just bland and uninteresting. He did mention how he did get off one good line about Aaron Rodgers. You guys need to check out this segment because it was great. They gave this a lot of time. So much so they had to get all the ad breaks in after this. It was 20 to 22 minutes commercial free, and then they just went full bore with the commercials. And hopefully the next network they land on sometime next year, because I believe that's when Fox's deal is up. It was a 5-year deal, and they'll be going to another network within the next year. So, Pat alludes to the fact that he is very, very high. You could kind of tell, in all honesty. And this is the People Show. You know what that means? If you smell, I can't do the Rock's catchphrase and all that, but big pop, massive pop, Denver loving Dwayne's Rock Hard Johnson. Absolutely just electric. Dwayne just getting a big old reaction there. And I'm calling him Dwayne because, you know what, Nia Jax is back, and I really don't feel that The Rock exactly deserves all the respect that he gets because Nia Jax is still in the company, or back in the company. But that being said, Rock, it's hard to encapsulate what he does mean to wrestling. And to think his full-time run really was only, 7 years? And even then, he was off for a few months in 2001. And then he was off after SummerSlam 2002 till around WrestleMania. Well, actually, it was No Way Out 2003. And he hung around to face Goldberg at Backlash 03, and then that's it. After sans a couple appearances and one Mania 20 appearance and one thing where he said, Eugene, you ain't going nowhere. They let his contract expire, and then he succeeded, despite the fact that it looked like maybe some of his movies weren't going to be all that successful. He has made millions and millions. And yeah, he showed up and the holy shit chance, you are an asshole, shut your bitch ass up. The Fox censorship crew had to be pissed. They had to be goddamn pissed about this. Austin tried to bow up at The Rock and just, god damn it. Jesus Christ. Pull the frickin' plug on this goddamn thing. Just do it. I don't want people to lose their job, but good grief, this isn't working. And The Rock has a theory that he's about 3 seconds away from whooping his ass. And then Theory jumps him, gets a spine buster, people's elbow. Pat does his own people's elbow. And a big old pop. It's a great way to end Smackdown. What do you fucking mean that we got 85 more minutes of this goddamn show? Okay, I guess we still got a whole goddamn show ahead of us. But a big old start. And I imagine that the ratings probably spiked up big. And shout out to Cher Delaware on Twitter who put up, they saw those Raw ratings and panicked. Because it was like 1.35 or something like that, the lowest Raw rating in quite a while. I mean, football's back, football on, as the kids say. But this has to do a lot. This probably has to do about the biggest goddamn rating. I would imagine DVR numbers and all that. This is going to be big. I really hope it is, because they really want to possibly push for Rock versus Roman in Philly next year. The last year they could do it. I don't think they will. I think this is a one-off appearance. But it would be kind of cool if The Rock was there just for the spectacle. It wouldn't be a great match. He'd be gassed within the first 5 minutes, and Roman would kill time for 20 minutes. But it would be a hell of a spectacle, and it would be box office. And Cody wouldn't be able to finish the story, as he's approaching 40 years old, and they consider him one of the main event stars of this whole thing. I'll do a video about that at some point, where wrestling needs a goddamn youth movement, and fast. And I'm talking across multiple companies. So anyway, we have Balor with Priest and Dominic in his corner against Styles, shrieking New Japan noises. It wasn't bad. I mean, it was not given a whole lot of time. They went a couple minutes of the break. Later, both Judgment Day members on the outside are tossed, and then Jimmy distracts Styles. We get a roll-up 1, 2, 3, and then backstage with Rock and Pat, and then he faces off against Cena. Oh my God, we've got Rock and Cena 3, even though it should have only been once in a lifetime. But Cena had to get his win back, and that was cool. And Jimmy basically gets an offer from Balor to be part of Judgment Day. And now his name is Jim Uso, because he called himself Jim Uso later on in the show. So he is now Jim Uso. Jim Uso. It sounds like a goddamn drink you would get at a bar in Belgium. So anyway, LWO are in the ring. Escobar wants a U.S. title shot. And basically Ray accepts, as it were. That should have workshopped that. And you know, if Escobar actually got into the bread making business, he would be Santos. Thank you, I'll be here all week, unfortunately. And then the Almighty Prophets show up, and then it's a rushed offer for a tag match that's joined in progress when we get back, and the Prophets won in a minute. I mean, even the fact that the commercial break was 3.5 minutes, 3.5 minutes, even if they started within 30 seconds of the goddamn, commercial starting, that's still 3-4 minutes for this match. Thanks for coming, LWO. You sold a lot of merch. Here you go. You know, if Zelina actually owned a park where she helped captive animals live a long life, she'd be Zoolina. I'm just going to keep doing bad puns during these reviews because I have nothing else. The Rumble is going to Tampa, where they're going to be in the Tropicana Field, that dive of a goddamn venue, where the Tampa Bay Devil Rays play. Miz and Knight hype package. Knight gets a big old pop. Miz is already in the ring. Knight and Miz had a good match. Miz played his role fine, and Knight won with the BFT. Nothing wrong with this match. I like the fact he used the hot shot, so to speak. Not quite the stun gun like Austin used to use. Not the one on the ropes, not the one that Tama Tonga uses, the cutter. Then Knight cuts a promo. He's coming for all the gold. He doesn't care who it is. He doesn't care if it's Ray. He doesn't care if it's Gunther. He doesn't care if it's Rollins. He doesn't care if it's even Roman Reigns. They could do LA Knight versus Roman Reigns in Saudi. That would be something. Knight wouldn't win unless they won something shocking and then free up Roman to face off against The Rock. which they might actually be serious about. Endeavor might have said, we'll throw the money at it. We want this match to happen. Get a return on our goddamn investment. Heyman and Solo are, watching LA Knight after what he said about Roman. Heyman said the orders have to come from the tribal queef. And Solo says, I'm going to handle it anyway. Okay, then the show was going great and came to a screeching halt because Pretty Deadly are being, injected back into the show. Anytime this tag team even exists on my television, it reminds me that tag team wrestling does not matter in WWE. I don't hate them as people. I hate the concept. I hate the look. I just hate everything about their presentation. I hope that whatever the hell one that is that's injured is recovering nicely. It's terrible he got injured. But they're a stupid, rotten goddamn tag team and one of the worst things that WWE has put on their television in years. Bayley and Dakota talk about Io versus Asuka. Asuka makes her entrance, we go to break, and then she's in the ring for a while because we get recaps of The Rock, and his Rock Hard Johnson laying out Theory, just making him prone and making Theory take it, and lost my train of thought there. Judgment Day's backstage discussing something, possibly what to get for dinner, I imagine. Maybe some Mile High, whatever the fuck food they have in Denver. Io versus Asuka next week. So I guess I probably have to review that SmackDown. We'll see how the rest of it goes. And then Bayley and Asuka had a match with 27 minutes left, and the crowd really didn't care. Shotzi showed up later, just out of the blue. Boy, Shotzi looks great. And has for a while. I mean, let's be honest. Shotzi, talented, driven, beautiful woman, but I love this new look. And then Asuka wins with a backslide, keeping both feet on the ground, unlike another man that used that goddamn maneuver in Texas Stadium in 1984 to win the NWA World Heavyweight Championship, and then about 2 years later, he was only able to just have one foot firmly planted on the ground. He was totally stumped for why that happened. Let's get back to the fact that we have the Grayson Waller effect. With Cena, I know he has the hair for the roles. They got to find a way to have him let that go. It's not good. Trust me, let that go. Let that go. It's just, that's why you keep your hair short. Anyway, here's Jim Uso. And then here's Solo. And he feigns spiking Cena. And then he feigns spiking Solo, or feigns spiking Jim Uso. And then kicks Cena. Then here's Styles. And that apparently was the dark match that was taking place. So there you are. That's the end of that. Just fold up those notes right there. So yeah, memorable edition of SmackDown. I mean, again, we'll go on a week-by-week basis. We'll see what ends up happening, because there may be some weeks I'm going to end up watching. I might not even review it all of December, because December is a notoriously busy month for me as far as work and other content. Anyway, agree, disagree with what I said, like, share, subscribe, Twitter handle in the description. I'm John Retlin. I'll see you soon.